Welcome back to our Rise Primetime. I'm Somna Sambo, and of course, I have our guest commentator with me for the rest of the program, who's going to give us her personal take on the news we've all heard from all the politicians. And she's the journalist, political affairs commentator, and Arise News analyst, Dr. Constance Ikokwu. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us. Let's take a dig at what the PDP, crisis is all about. And of course, you would have heard earlier on there were reports that there was going to be an endorsement of, the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu by the G5 governors. But Nyesom Wike, the governor of Rivers State, and who's the leader of the G5 group, came out to say no. There was no meeting with the APC presidential candidate, and all those news is false here and there. Will it be like a sort of relief for the PDP, or is just a postponement of doomsday?
Well, the PDP man that we had was very optimistic, yes. No politician would tell you that they will lose the election. Whether they believe it or not, they would say that they will win. But what I want to start with is that when you look at the political terrain in Nigeria, it's treacherous. You're literally swimming in treacherous waters. The stakes in this country is very high. The stakes are high, and therefore that's why you see that there's intense struggle, intense fight for power. The regional move to the north or to the south. And when he says that the PDP, what the PDP governors did in 2015 is different from now, no, it's similar. Because in 2015,
yes, moved with about 7 governors,
the G7 governors, yes,
the APC then.
Yes, the G7 governors, it was about the movement of power from one part of the country to the other. And that action that they took demolished President Goodluck Jonathan. It's literally obliterated him. And because of that, the power was handed to President Muhammadu Buhari. So it matters. The governors wield considerable influence in this country. We do not know the level of damage that these governors would do to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has been here before. He did it to Jonathan. When he was vice president to President Olusegun Obasanjo, he did something similar. He ran against his boss.
Against the preference of his boss, which was Umaru Musa Yar'Adua then.
People were very surprised. How do you run against your boss? President Obasanjo had to beg him to stop, to rejoin the ticket for the second term. So there's nothing new here. Everybody's fighting for power. Nobody wants to play by the rules, if there are rules at all. There has to be rules and processes, and we have to abide by them. If not, nobody should blame anybody. Everybody
all right,
just
but
fighting.
What do you make of the insistence by the G5 governors that they are fighting for equity, for justice, and for a southern presidency, which, based on Nigerian politics, the pendulum is supposed to shift to the south, according to them, and that's why they would endorse someone who is a southern presidential candidate, whether from LP or APC or wherever. They
have a point. It remains to be seen if they would be in agreement. Seyi Makinde comes from the southwest. The rest come from the south and the southeast. But they have a point, because in this country, we're not mature yet to run the presidency solely by merit. So there is some sort of political arrangement that we need until we get to a stage or such a time that anybody can run based on their credentials. And it doesn't have to do with religion, it doesn't have to do with ethnicity, it doesn't have to do with where you come from. That political arrangement is very important, but if you decide to do away with it at the presidential level, then you have to do away with it at every level in the country, every sector. We talk about quota system, we're doing that. We talk about the education system, we do quota. Some students score high in JAM, they cannot get admission. Some students from other parts of the country that are regarded as less privileged score very low, and they get into university. So if you want to obliterate that, start on a new page, then it has to be done in every part of the country. It has to be done at every level. But as you can see, we're not mature for that yet. So it's a delicate balancing we have to do until we get to that point.
Now, very quickly to the last one that we talked about, reverse politics, and of course how the opposition parties are crying foul that Governor Nyesom Wike and his state executive council are just slapping all sort of laws upon them and stopping them from campaigning, attacks on SDP, Accord, and other party leaders. What do you make of that?
It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that politics has to be a do or die affair, that people have to die in the course of running for office, that thugs have to take over the whole place. But then the Nigerian state is weak. You can see that with all the security challenges that we are facing and how we are unable to manage all of that. I said it yesterday. There is no country that can sustain this amount of aggression, security-wise, on all flanks. It's like it's everywhere.
Yeah, but shouldn't the Inspector General of Police be doing more to provide cover for these opposition groups if it's been pretty difficult for them to be able to campaign? I mean, in a state being controlled by PDP.
Yes, he should be doing more. Do you have enough policemen to do that? How many policemen do you have in the country?
All right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So these things are very difficult, but we are hoping that if politicians decide that we have to do the right thing, you know, Nyesom Wike is Nyesom Wike. What he's doing is not surprising to anybody. It doesn't mean that it's right. The opposition should be allowed to run for office without intimidation, without aggression and attack on their offices.
We must thank you so much, Dr. Constance Ikokwu, for helping us to provide this analysis. And it's so sad to know that even in Rivers State, there's a division within the PDP itself where they are fighting each other here and there. Well, that's how it's been for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Do join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, goodbye and thank you for watching. I'm Somna Sambo.